Trust me when I tell you that I believe that you really only need one good resource. It doesn't even matter what resource it is, honestly, but you just need one. So I did not buy a textbook, and I chose that because I didn't want to spend any money and I thought it would be boring. So instead I went on the internet where you can basically find anything, at least that's what I thought. And then I just searched Japanese lesson 1 or Japanese, how to learn Japanese, and I found a video series which I'm going to review now. The benefits are that it's free, it's effective, and it's way more fun in my opinion. There is no perfect resource. It's all about how you use the knowledge inside the books or inside the videos to get better at learning the language. So when I looked online, I found a video series, Japanese from Zero, and it was a series of maybe 90 videos, and it would teach me Japanese from zero. Now, why I like these videos a lot right off is because it's so super simple. There's 90 videos, you start at the first one and you just keep going and you watch a video every day. So I'll explain a bit later about the series in a second. The owner of the channel is George, and George knows Japanese very well, and he introduced himself in the beginning of the series. Now, what I really like about these series is that you can just go to the first video and then start from there and just keep going. It's very simple and clear and easy. And in my case, I decided to watch maybe 1 or sometimes 2 videos per day. And one video would take me like 20 minutes, so after that I would be done for that day. Honestly, I think videos are way more fun than textbooks, right? Especially when you're self-studying Japanese in this case. Don't you think it's way more fun to learn from a person, even though it's a video, than from a book when you're self-studying? I think videos are way more fun. And that is where the teacher also comes in, because George, this guy, he's really motivated about teaching Japanese, and he's really a funny guy actually. So my point is that it feels more personal when you watch videos. It's like there's a connection between you and the teacher, and you're having a one-on-one lesson, which makes it way more effective and way more fun. And George also tries to make some jokes along the way, and I like his character. He's like a funny guy who jokes every now and then about the lessons that he does. That's important, that there's some kind of connection with the teacher, but I'll talk about that later on as well. Another point is that videos are way easier to watch, at least in my opinion. You can just go to YouTube, you go to the channel, click on the video and just watch and listen, that's it. Instead of the book where you, I don't know, maybe you write in it or you just read. It's just way easier in my opinion to just look at videos. George wrote 5 books, I think. Well, of course he started with 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And then he started making videos about the books. Now, I really like the structure of the videos because George usually starts with new vocabulary, new things that you're going to use in that lesson. And at the beginning in book 1 and 2, there's also new kana, so new hiragana and new katakana. And you're supposed to know these when you start the lesson, which in my case I didn't, because I didn't have the book. So I would just go online and look for these kana, learn them, and then go back to the lesson. And after introducing these new words, these new kana, George usually moves on with just explaining some grammar, some simple grammar. And after that, George will do some exercises. So he'll have his PowerPoint in the back, and then he'll ask you, what does this say? First read it please, and then try to answer the question. He gives you time to respond. So it's really like an interactive video, and that's what I really like about that. There's also a live stream. I think he recorded this when he was live streaming as well, so it really makes for a fun experience. Now, every video takes about maybe 20 minutes, maybe a bit longer, but I think 20 minutes is an ideal time. Sometimes I would even watch 2 videos, but I don't recommend binging the videos, but I'll explain some more about why later. And there are over 100 videos by now. Back when I started, it was like 90 videos or something, because not all the lessons from the books had videos yet, but now I believe they do. So tons of content, and there's so many resources, so many topics that you can learn from just these series. But also one thing that is important is that it doesn't really matter, because the resources are out there. You can just as easily go on the internet and find any topic that you would like to learn. You can look around for tons of resources, you can find anything on the internet, and even these series contain so much information, but it's about how you use that to learn for yourself. Especially when you're self-studying, because here's what I did. I used to do 1 lesson or maybe 2 lessons, but after I was done with this series, I would just binge grammar. Like, I would find other videos and I would just find all kinds of topics and grammar points and just learn them. But there's really no point in that, because here's how it works in my opinion. When you have resources, you use them as fuel almost. Let's take vocabulary as an example. You can just learn vocabulary by reading in books or in videos and learn them that way, because they're directly translatable. Is that a word? I don't know. But when it comes to grammar and unique things that you can translate into another language, it doesn't really work like that, because what you're doing is you're setting up your brain so that you'll recognize it later when you encounter these grammar points again. So let me explain that, because this is very important. For example, let's take particles. You know, these Japanese particles, wa, ga, o, ni, those things. You don't learn them by just simply reading about them in textbooks or in videos. So what happens now is that you know when to use them. And if you want to speak actually, and you want to use these concepts, then you have to think, wait, what was it again? What was the rule? There's not really an efficient way of speaking Japanese or studying Japanese. You should get used to these concepts. You should learn about them in the books, in the resources, or in the videos. And then once you know about them, you just start immersing yourself with Japanese, and then you will hear it. You will hear how the particles are used, and you'll get used to it, because the repetition is what's really important. Maybe if you see this particle 100 times, will you finally understand what it means or how it is used. And your brain will automatically pick up how it is used, because it is really good at finding patterns in language especially. So my tip is to really immerse yourself in Japanese while you do these lessons. Don't just focus on these lessons as you're learning Japanese, because you think you are learning Japanese, but actually you're just feeding your brain new content, but you're not really doing anything with it. It's only when you immerse yourself and you see how this content is used is when you really start learning about it and picking up patterns, and that's really when you start understanding how the grammar works. And in the beginning, of course, it's fine, because in the beginning you don't know anything, so you need to have this information. The number one reason why I recommend this series is because I like George, and of course I don't know if you will like him too, but for me it is way easier to watch another video because I know it'll be fun, because George is the one who is in the video. Because I like George, it makes me want to watch more videos. And obviously if I watch more videos and if I put more content in my brain, then there's no way that I won't get better in this language, right? You have to find something that makes it fun for you so that you keep coming back, and then you let time do its thing, and over time you will improve. You have to. For example, if you like music, then try listening to some Japanese songs, or maybe even try to find out the lyrics. I find that really fun. Actually, I do have a video about that, so if you want to watch that, you can. It's really interesting to see the grammar that is used in lyrics sometimes. Or if you like Netflix and you like watching series, then try to watch a series in Japanese, which I've also tried, and it's actually really fun too, but maybe difficult if you are a beginner. It's just really important that you keep motivated and you keep studying. I actually found this study that says that the majority of people, of language learners, give up because they lack motivation. And among all the people that I watch on YouTube, George is actually one that really gives me motivation to learn Japanese. So what happens when you're done? Will you be fluent? No, you won't be, probably. I'm not fluent. I think when you reach this point, you know the basis of Japanese, and that means that you can start focusing more on immersing yourself, and that means reading a lot and listening a lot. You can still learn grammar, but I would change up the way that you do it. So in the beginning, what you do is you do a lesson or maybe 2 lessons every day, because the language is new. But when you're done with this series, you know the foundation, you know how the language works. So even if you listen to, I don't know, a video or a vlog in Japanese, even though you don't know all of it, you still know how the language works, and you might hear something and think, hey, I don't know that, I haven't learned that. Listen for those things and then look those up, instead of learning grammar first and then watching. And this series is great for that. The videos for book 1 and book 2 are basically for beginners. 3 is for more advanced topics. And I think once you get to book 4, it is really, you really start learning grammar that has more nuance to it. So I think when you reach the videos for book 4, you can really start trying out other things, other resources, well, not resources, but videos and books, and just start focusing more on input. And then as you encounter stuff that you don't know, look them up. Don't learn these foreign things that you don't even know if you're going to use them. Get yourself immersed with the Japanese language and then look up things that you don't know. That's my tip.